Welcome back to another episode of Fail or Fire, the series where we show you what we think is a fail, fire, or just plain mid. I am your Screw Black Friday host, Thunderius, and I'm joined by my absolutely phenomenal co-hosts.
I like ramen noodles. I'm Shades.
And I am Dylan. I like money. I would like to have more of it. That's where you come in.
And we are Cyber Skull Media. Welcome back. It's another Ren's Day, which means it's Friday on Cyber Skull Media. Shout out to the Council of Steves and the rest of the Cyber Skull Mafia that is currently in the premiere chat every Friday, same time, same place. We premiere these videos. Why don't you join us next week for one if you missed it this week? Because it's always a good time. Now today we are covering all three parts of the Money Game series by Ren. I'm going to put the full time of this video on the screen right now because anybody who's in the premiere isn't going to know how long that they're going to be sitting here today because it's a long one, folks. I'm expecting this one to be very long. You guys know we get long-winded sometimes, okay? And today's probably not going to be any different. Now, for those of you who may be new, we read the lyrics, even if there's a lyric video, so that we can digest it a little bit easier. And then we give it a fail or fire review. After each song, we let you guys know what we think about the song, whether we rate it fail, fire, or just plain mid. And then we also, at some point during there, like to talk directly to the Renegades with special messages for you guys, especially those who've been following us from the very beginning or for quite some time. So we won't keep you guys waiting any longer than we have to. The last thing I'm going to say is thank you, everybody, for getting us to 4,000 subscribers. Let's go. Love you guys. You guys are amazing, and we are so happy that you guys got us there. Here is to 5,000. That's coming up next. Well, boys, should we go ahead and see what Ren has to say and why people have been clamoring for this trilogy since the very beginning of our Ren journey?
I think we're ready.
Let's do it.
This is Ren Money Game Part 1. Yeah.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through Parliament in theory. As devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, strife, fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chain to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole war burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way, and those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop.
Okay, I'll stop.
Good point.
Fine.
Oh man, so for the starters, we're getting some things that give me some flashbacks to High Ren. The bag on the head showed up in Crucify Your Culture, and people said that it had some relevance. Classic Ren video over here.
I like the vocal styling there. That last half of this so far. I like what he's doing vocally.
His singing and stuff, once we hit the chorus, was very, very sweet.
Yeah, real smooth.
I'm kind of digging his voice, jamming out to the guitar here too.
A strange time we're living in. World can put fear in ya. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through the parliament interior. Devils walk among us, fit the criteria. Eerie theories strike fear in weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose, but who's fooling who? A ball chained to your shoes, I'm pained. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets the whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade. But now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves. Turn a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer, his finger on the trigger of a money game. Now, I don't want to retread a lot of the things we've talked about in our last couple Rin videos, or from money ties to crucify your culture and all that jazz. But the man is always making some solid ass points.
Agreed.
He is awake.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Crying shame, the pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets the whole world burn. Now, don't put, you're going to burn this city down, which is a really great song by Planet Zeus on Facebook, because they're going to give you a warning and go, hey, this is violence you're trying to incite. And no, I'm just trying to share dope music with the world.
Block.
Access denied.
But it is true that the pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that sometimes takes people in the wrong directions, depending on what their heart really is. And that money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts and make slaves, because it was really hard to set up a barter system across the board for everything. Like, I'm going to grow all these potatoes, but how many of these potatoes are worth X from this guy? How many potatoes is a horse? How many cabbages is a carriage? You know what I'm saying? We invented money, try to find a common ground for barter versus having all these wild things that we couldn't control. And sometimes it's a great deal, sometimes it's not. It can really twist somebody. Oh, rain, 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 a storm, it comes our way, and those who rise through distorted lies poison in the veins. But we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Now, I did say, was it crucify your culture? I was like, a lot of the blame lies on the people themselves for not taking action and passing the buck. We need to take a little more action, especially in our local communities.
Supposed capitalism. If we don't buy, then the prices have to come down, but we panic buy and the market sets the price.
Panic buy, like toilet paper? No way.
Yeah, there's an example. Gasoline.
Point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop.
Said playing.
This old money game. Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome, and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own, and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep.
Rin does what Rin does, and he is just a master of the verse, and I did not know we were going to get a history class today.
No shit.
I enjoyed the history lesson.
Me too.
Video really amped up right there when he slapped him, put on some gloves, not this kind, Shades, and grabbed a baseball bat. I was like, oh shit, things are going down.
Thought maybe he was going to play the keg a la Slipknot.
I was waiting for the Babe Ruth.
Yeah. Call your shot.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas that keep us separate. When they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets, they say proudly through gritted teeth, "It's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech." But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racial slur or insult we make. There's irony in freedom because us in the West, we have privileged and plundered and murdered like savages. Colonize all of the rest, that's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you'd never keep yourselves. If your country was in flames, you'd immigrate yourselves in a second. Still, you spit your venom. Now, I stopped it here because I've had an interesting conversation recently with someone from the UK about our whole freedom of speech and why I think it's important to let everyone say what they believe, even if it's deemed hateful. Now, before I lose any of you here, you just got to hear me out.
Hear us out, hear us out, hear us out, hear us out.
We don't always agree on everything between the three of us. We don't always agree on everything with the people that we watch or the people that watch us, and that's okay. We like to have a space where everybody, in spite of your beliefs, can come together and enjoy good music and talk about ideas and concepts and things that are going on. Not very many of you rocked with our taxation is theft stuff. A few of you had a problem with that, but that's a very nuanced take that we have that we don't really want to get into on this channel. Past the couple comments I made in the comment section, because we're not a political channel, even though we discuss political themes from time to time. Now, before I talk a little bit about this freedom of speech, does anyone else have any comments on this specific topic?
When did freedom become a reason to hate? That's what I kind of wondered. Like, why aren't people allowed to say whatever? Like, I mean, I get there's limits, but if people are taught these limits, I mean, censorship sucks.
You know, you have the freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequence. So obviously we have laws to protect, libel and slander and things like that. So you can't just out and out lie about people, but we've come to a point where differing opinions are cause for distance, right? We're pushing people away. We're blocking people, canceling people if they don't agree or if what they say doesn't match what we say. I don't particularly do that. I don't delete or block people, but I feel like we can have discourse. I love conversation. As long as it's civil, you can tell me why you feel the way you feel, and I'll tell you why I feel the way I feel. But that doesn't mean we have to hate, degrade people because our views differ. The social media climate, which, Ren talks about hypocrisy, and here we are talking about freedom of speech and things like that. But this world that we participate in, we need social media to boost our views. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, these are all avenues for us to get our message across. But at the same time, this is the thing that is basically fueling the hatred and the discourse that's missing. People don't want to talk. They just want to call names, block each other. Families are separating because people don't have the same viewpoints. It's gotten a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, what he said.
So the first thing I have to say is, you remember growing up with the phrase, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me"? When did we forget about that?
Or how about the late, great Pee Wee Herman? "I am rubber, you are glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you."
Absolutely. There was a whole song about that I remember hearing when I was younger. I mean, I feel like a lot of that was something that we were all taught growing up was, who cares what other people say or about you? It's just their words, and those words can't hurt you. Now, I know sometimes they can cross the line into actual deemable threats, like Dylan said, aren't outside the realm of consequences. You actually threaten somebody and you're actually planning on going through with it, then yes, there should be action taken. But I still think everybody should have the freedom to say what they want, regardless of what it is, because otherwise you're walking around not knowing what these people think. I would rather know what these people think. Like, if this person is a racist bigot and they run a shop downtown, I would rather know that so I don't go there and give them my money than go there and unknowingly give them my money that they can then use to fund causes that they support that I don't. I would rather know. I would rather people wear their heart on their sleeve so that I know who to avoid and who not to avoid. Is that going to come with hate from different people? Because yeah, we get hate all the time in comments, especially from certain fandoms or certain people within certain fandoms. The Renegades have been the nicest fandom we have come across yet, bar none. So I'll give you guys props for that. I don't know, man. A lot of the time, it's stuff that people internalize way too much. Like, I was bullied to hell when I was a kid. So there is nothing that these losers can say in the comments that are going to bother me. Sure, when we first got rolling and we got our first video that got tons of hate, it sucked. I internalized a lot of that. But then you realize, hey, if you're on the internet, if you're putting yourself out there, that's going to come with a certain amount of risk, which is people are assholes. And you're not going to get away from that, whether you're online or in real life. It's just when you're online, there's a higher collection of people, which means there's a higher percentage that you're going to run into an asshole. Shout out Mercules and Chris Webby.
Hey, and shout out to the few people that watch that video because it's super good.
I'll wrap it up with this and we'll move on. But if you start censoring, if you give a central entity the power to say what is and what is not deemed hate speech, all it takes is somebody who's an asshole or who opposes your viewpoint to get into control of that, to then say everything you say is hate speech. It then becomes a weapon that is wielded by whoever's in power. And that's not always a good thing if it falls on the other side of the aisle that you're on. It's a double-edged sword that you're just going to have to walk through life with no matter what. And like we said earlier, this is the money game. You vote with your money. So wouldn't you rather know where that money's going versus not?
Let him cook!
Demonizing immigrants when really you're an immigrant, because all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. The irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we make the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim. The same and the same old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle, we sleep. Some of us sleep outside of all of it. But he's right. Everyone is an immigrant to somewhere. There's no race other than the human race. How about we just treat people fucking decent? You know, live our fucking lives. And as long as you're not hurting somebody else or infringing on their property or their rights, live the way you want to fucking live, man.
Play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame. But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
Oh, fuck. I don't know if he's about to talk or what's about to happen. I did want to mention how interesting it was that the person in the chair was all in white. He was dressed all in black, and now he's gray.
Good eye. Good eye.
Look,
What?
That's a plot twist.
what a twist.
But wait, there's a part 2.
We have to protect this man at all costs. But part 2 is not a music video, it's lyrics, remember? That was Ren Money Game part 1. We'll try to keep the review today very brief. Shades, what did you think?
I have no idea what that ending. Fucking lost. It was all fire, every bit of it, even the fucking dumbass cliffhanger that I'm like, what the fuck?
Set himself on fire, Shades.
But did he?
You can't show that on YouTube, but they don't got a CGI budget.
Because maybe he flicked it and it never went off, and then somebody comes in and like knocks it out of his hand. Like what? Yeah, I'm in awe. His fucking movie shit that I talk about all the time. This dude's good. I hate him. I love him, but I hate him.
You just hate you got blue balled by Ren instead of me tonight.
Yeah. All right.
I just want to point out that Shades wanted to watch Ren set himself on fire. I mean, what kind of a fandom is that?
No, see, like I said, somebody could have knocked it out of his hand, ass. Somebody could have saved the day, like me.
Shades to the rescue.
I think it was fire. Love the vocalization, the singing. Some good kind of up-tempo rap stuff in there too, but like primarily him and his singing. And I think that's for me, really strong suit. I love it when he sings. The way he kind of vocally styled this one really hit. Subject matter, of course, real deep, in depth, touching on a lot of, as you all have heard through this video, some important topics for us as well. So yeah, loved it. Video was super intriguing. I also am curious as to what happened there at the end when the lights went out, but solid. It's fire.
You know what happens when the lights go out, Dylan?
That's the night they hung an innocent man.
No, you're in the dark.
No, that's different.
Son of a gun.
So literal.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Sunny thought it was fire. I pretty much gave you all my thoughts during the video. We want to keep this rolling tonight because of how far we already are into our recording, and this is just the first video, but I thought it was fire. Ren doing his thing with the lyrics, Ren doing his thing with the music, Ren doing his thing with the music video. And bonus points for blue balling Shades, I think. So
doesn't count.
All right. Well, that was Ren Money Game Part 1. So we should we move into Part 2 then?
Let's go.
Good, because you're going. Yeah!
All right, let's do this.
My chair's uncomfortable.
All right, so this is Ren Money Game Part 2.
Strange time we're living in, panic and hysteria. Poor man learn, the rich man don't care for your narcissist mindset spread like malaria. Sit back and watch the show. America, Britain split through fickle shit. A government of hypocrites. These counterfeit politicians sit in parliament, not adequate. Come on, needlessly bleeding, resources all dry. Turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. Oh, what a shame it would be, I would die if number 10 Downing Street burned in a fire. Only joking, only messing, don't be stressing. I'm a peaceful adolescent, there's no need to be unpleasant. Write my thesis in a rhyme scheme to analyze the brain while my fingers on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 a storm it comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we die upon the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
Get it.
I'm really liking this blues vibe that he's got going on in these, man.
Yeah, almost like some 70s soul music too in there a little bit. Some old funk and soul. I'm picking up that vibe.
And the choruses are very, very, very similar. So we won't need to read through that one again.
And there was much rejoicing.
Even though we just saw the lyrics, I'm going to read them again. You want to skip ahead? Totally fine.
No skips.
Strange times we're living in, panic and hysteria. Poor man learn the rich man don't care for you. Narcissist mindsets spread like malaria. Sit back and watch the show, America. Britain split through fickle shit. A government of hypocrites. These counterfeit politicians sit in parliament not adequate. Needlessly bleeding, resources all dry. Turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. Oh, what a shame it would be, I would die if number 10 Downing Street burned in a fire. Only joking, only messing. Don't be stressing. I'm a peaceful adolescent. There's no need to be unpleasant. Write my thesis in a rhyme scheme to analyze the brain while my finger's on the trigger of a money game. That was Ren saying in Minecraft.
He's good.
Part about the rich man and the poor man. Important artist for me, Killer Mike from Run the Jewels, solo stuff, Dirty South hip hop guy. You know, he talks a lot about the division is it's class, right? It's not necessarily racism, it's classism. You know, the poor, no matter what race they are disadvantaged. You know, it's rich versus poor. So I like that call out.
Number 10 Downing Street for our people in the US is apparently the Prime Minister's office. So that's just a little fun fact for you there. That's basically like saying the
He
White
was
House.
just joking.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was just joking.
In Minecraft
Oh, when was this made?
4 years ago.
Crazy that it's only been 4 years, but it's still, his words are still hitting now.
Chuck D's been talking about this stuff since like 1984.
I know.
Plus, several videos have been very on point and have come around again with some of them. So stuff like this, it doesn't ever become irrelevant because it's always relevant because that's how it is. That's just how it is. Just like you know, these counterfeit politicians sit in Parliament or the Congress or the Senate, not adequate because they're not. They needlessly are bleeding resources dry and they turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. All these motherfuckers. I don't remember if it was Crucify Your Culture or Money Ties or which video where Dylan was talking about how you shouldn't be going into office, a normal person, and coming out a multimillionaire.
Hey, Pelosi.
That just should not be a thing, man. All these people are leveraging their positions of power and making themselves rich because of it at the expense of everybody else.
The votes are for sale. That is a crime.
Blame. It's easier to blame. But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
And it's hysteria.
Money game.
What they want you to do.
This all. Money is a game and the ladder we climb turns a saint into a sinner with his finger in crime. I'll break it down for you motherfuckers line by line. This is business economics in a nursery rhyme. She sells seashells on a seashore, but the value of these shells will fall due to the laws of supply and demand. No one wants to buy shells because there's loads on the sand. Step one, must create a sense of scarcity. Shells will sell much better if the people think they're rare, you see. Bear with me, take as many shells as you can find and hide them on an island. Stockpile them high until they're rarer than a diamond. Step two, gotta make the people think that they want them, really fucking want them. Hit them like Bronson. Influencers, product placement, featured primetime entertainment. If you haven't got a show, then you're just a fucking waste man. Free, it's monopoly. Invest inside some property. Start a corporation, make a logo, do it properly. Shells must sell, that will be a new philosophy. Swallow all your morals, they're a poor man's quality. 4, expand. Clear forest, make land, fresh blood on hands. 5, why just shells? Why limit yourself? She sells seashells, sell oil as well. 6, guns, sell stock, sell diamonds, sell rock, sell water to a fish, sell the time to a clock. 7, press on the gas, take your foot off the brakes, then run to be the president of the United States. 8, big smile, make big wave, that's great. Now the truth is overrated, tell lies out the gate. 9, polarize the people, controversy is the game. It don't matter if they hate you, if they all say your name. 10, the world is yours. Step out on the stage to a round of applause. You're a liar, cheat, a devil, a whore, and you sell seashells on the seashore.
Man, I see this getting quoted all the time in the rabbit hole group, and now I know what it's from. Is it possible it's in other videos? Yes, but I see this all the time, and I'm like, what is this referencing? And it's from Money Game Part 2, at least. The seashells on the seashore. That's what I'm referring to, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times in the chat.
So that's definitely my favorite verse.
That was pretty good shit.
It's spitting facts over here. So many facts.
I see it like when he started spitting this, that commercial of that stupid fucking ball you hang from your head and you punch at it. It came out years ago and now it's back again. Like that came to my mind instantly.
This is like Schoolhouse Rock for adults.
Right? Like, I'm not going to go back and look through all these clips. There was a lot of references in here from different candidates and presidents to movies and TV shows and consumerism, from board games like Monopoly to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and other TV shows where oil rigs, war, everything it all is surrounded by money.
The video, the images are very like dead on. So when he talks about crime, he shows Tony Soprano. So he's got these very, like, they hit at just the right moments. It's very well put together for a lyric video.
Very, very well done. Lots of stuff that you would easily miss if you're just like chilling and not really paying a whole lot of attention. But everything Ren does in videos has a point, even though we miss them sometimes. And we always love it when you guys point out things we miss because we want to know these things, you know? It makes it better when we understand more of it.
I was going to say, we miss him, but you guys catch him.
Money is a game, and the ladder we climb turns a saint into a sinner with his finger in crime. I'll break it down for you motherfuckers line by line. This is a business economics in a nursery rhyme. Seashells on the seashore, but the value of these shells will fall due to the laws of supply and demand. No one wants to buy shells because there's loads in the sand, on the sand. And, you know, that is it. That's economics in a nutshell. Artificial scarcity is a thing. Step 1, you must create a sense of scarcity. Shells will sell much better if the people think they're rare, you see. Bear with me. Take as many shells as you can find and hide them on an island. Epstein Island, maybe.
No.
Stockpile them high until they're rarer than a diamond. Step 2, gotta make the people think that they want them, really fucking want them, hit them like Bronson. Influencers, product placement, featured primetime entertainment. If you haven't got a shell, then you're just a fucking waste, man. 3, it's a monopoly. Invest inside some properties. Start a corporation. Make a logo. Do it properly. Shells must sell. That will be your new philosophy. Swallow all your morals. They're a poor man's quality. 4, expand. Clear forest. Make land. Fresh blood on your hands. 5, why just shells? Why limit yourself? She shells, sell oil as well. So before I finish this off, I feel like there's plenty there that we could digest. Like the fact that diamonds aren't actually rare and they're artificially scarce, that diamonds are actually pretty much worthless, that we give value to, that all of this diamonds are forever wedding ring nonsense was created by, I believe, the De Beers campaign back in the day, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. Everything we know about it, from you got to save this much of your salary to do it, it's all bullshit. It's all marketing, all ad campaigns that people have believed to be true and tradition. And it's all just marketing to sell more shit that we don't fucking need.
I want to shout out a super obscure punk band from Chicago called Annihilate, NIL8, and they have a song called Diamonds Aren't a Girl's Best Friend. They've just been brainwashed by De Beers.
Oh, you gotta send me that link.
I will.
Send it to the chat.
When I used to go to shows up when I was in Cedar Falls, Northeast Iowa, those guys would come and play at this little club. Criminally underrated. They're kind of a niche thing, but perfectly topical. Again, that was 20 years ago. I was going to see them, and this shit's still relevant. So
yeah, that's the whole point: is make something scarce, make it a hot commodity, make people really want it through influencers, product placement, primetime entertainment like the Super Bowl. Make people want this shit, and they'll be on to the next big thing by the time that it's out of the cycle, but you made your fucking money. And, you know, influencers do product placement ads all the time, sponsored ads. We're not big enough to get any of those things, but you're going to bet your ass we will, so that we can get free from our regular lives and be able to make YouTube full time. Maybe one day we'll find some. If anyone has any hookups, let us know, but
we'll never back something we don't believe in.
Exactly. If we won't use it, or we don't trust it, or we don't believe in it, we won't do it. No matter how much money Raid Shadow Legends pays us, that's not even a thing anymore, really. You know, we're only going to do things that we believe in, that we think is worth buying, because, you know, there's a lot of shit out there that influencers sling without knowing anything about it, just to get the bag. As much as we want the bag, we want to be authentic with you guys in every video, not just from our reactions and our reviews and our thoughts, but to the things that we get to sponsor us later on. Start a corporation, make a logo, do it properly. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say, hey, if you need a logo, a website, anything of that nature, hit up thunderiuscreative.com and I will make it for you. In fact, I'll give you a special 25% off discount from this video if you mention the Money Game Trilogy, and we'll go from there. I do that for a living. So all the graphics you see on here, that's me, baby. Had to shameless plug, man. I had to shameless plug.
Coupon flapjack.
What does it have to do with anything?
Everything.
What the fuck does that even mean?
6. Guns, sell stocks, sell diamonds, sell rocks. Sell water to a fish, sell time to a clock. 7. Press on the gas, take your foot off the brakes, then run to be president of the United States. 8. Big smile, mate. Big wave, that's great. Now the truth is overrated. Tell lies out the gate. 9. Polarize the people. Controversy is the game. It don't matter if they hate you, if they all say your name. 10. The world is yours. Step out on a stage to a round of applause. You're a liar, a cheat, a devil, a whore, and you sell seashells on the seashore, just like Logan fucking Paul, that motherfucking con artist.
No way.
Prime drinks are garbage.
Yes,
Prime
they are. They're not good
sucks.
for you.
No, they're full of.
It's all potassium.
Eat a banana.
It's got electrolytes.
Hey, fuck Jake Paul too while we're at it.
But that's them. That's their philosophy. It don't matter if they hate you as long as they say your name. That's their whole philosophy. They're just living clout goblins 24/7. They'll scam you for an NFT or cryptocurrency, and they'll just wave in your face and go play make believe on WWE. That's not a slight against pro wrestling, because your boy Thunderius has a background in pro wrestling. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they go fuck people over, then they turn around and get praised for doing other things and put on national TV. Why?
Why? Why? Why?
They should be rotting in a fucking jail cell right now, but it doesn't matter when it comes to certain people.
Money, 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 money.
Money.
The world is yours. Step out on the stage to a round of applause. You're a liar, cheat, a devil, a whore, and you sell seashells on the seashore. Rain, 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 rain. A storm, it comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies. Poison in the veins, but we dive upon the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game. This old.
Now, there's something I want to touch on before we get into the review here that I saw. This right here. If you don't know what this is from, this is Charlie Chaplin's final speech from The Great Dictator. And if you've never seen it, once this video is over, please go watch it. You can find it on YouTube. It's incredibly well done. I love this speech from this movie. It's absolutely worth your time. He's also got one about anarchy versus anarchist kid. It's very interesting as well. So you should check that out too. All right. Well, that was Money Game Part 2. Dylan, what did you think?
I think it was fire. Like I said, that she sells seashells section was incredibly, it's very educational, but very topical and timely. Like I said, it's interesting how, for me, musically, the different music I've grown up listening to, I started off very much a hip hop kid, ventured out into punk and hardcore, and these topics have been relevant for shit since music has been popular, right? Going back, I mentioned kind of a 70s feel to the chorus on this, Al Green and Curtis Mayfield and guys like that. Even Marvin Gaye were singing some stuff that was politically motivated, and it was topping the charts. So it's always been a part of music, and it's almost sad that we're still talking about these same topics afflicting the masses after all this time. And he ties it up super nicely. Beautiful song. But yeah, it's an easy fire.
I'm not gonna say much other than fire. It was easier this way, just because of the weird funky hat.
What is that hat, Shades?
Johnny Ramen, Hokkaido restaurant. What is that? Can you see it?
Yes, Hokkaido Ramen House
Okay.
in Omaha, Nebraska area.
And to be fair, I'm fully aware that this is a children's stocking cap. I had to wear it and show his stuff. My daughter will get it, so calm your britches.
He also has a spicy ramen challenge coming and t-shirts soon for the people who can beat it. So look forward to us doing that on our Let's Get Spicy channel, which is pinned in the description, where we do spicy food challenges, which we've only got one video on, but there will be more coming soon.
But yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say other than, just fire. The relevance of everything that he puts into music for me to listen to and enjoy and hate at the same time. I did want to point out, I seen you hover over a Make America Great Again thing. I noticed something that I didn't know about until recently either. Did you know that Bill Clinton said that back in the day? Make America Great Again?
It doesn't surprise me. Everything repeats itself.
Oh, yeah.
History repeats itself.
100%.
You know, they say that those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it, but I say even if you know history, you're doomed to repeat it, because the only thing keeping people in check, keeping people at bay, keeping assholes at bay and out of power is the people.
No, he's got a point.
With that being said, this was fucking fire, and I love it, man. I love everything Ren brings to us when it's heavily political, when it's very non-political, but more entertaining. Like, he can do it all, man. And I'm very excited to see where we go with this last part. So before we get into the final part tonight, today, whenever this is for you, I'm going to talk to the Renegades. Does that sound fine?
Yes, sir.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, we'll keep it brief. Again, I want to thank you guys for getting us to 4,000 subscribers. 5K is the next goal. We were just hoping back when we started this series to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. And we're sitting here over 4K. So y'all have blown away our expectations and our goals, and we couldn't be happier for it. Thank you very much. Now, for those who might be new, we have a Ren playlist that I'll pin at the end of the video, as well as put it in the description. Y'all pointed it out. It wasn't there, so now it's there. And I'm going to try to go back and add it to the older videos as well. We've done so many now, it's just too much to just put it on screen. There's like 17, 18 videos in this playlist now, and we've still barely scratched the surface of what Ren has to offer. So next week, I think we're going to take a break from all the really heavy things as far as we're aware, and all the very long videos, and we're going to do what, Dylan?
The Nas retake.
We are going to do the Nas retake. Isn't that, I think it's called Halftime. I could be wrong, but I think it's called Halftime. And we're gonna give that a go and have some fun with it next week. Kick off December with something fun. We're also kicking off some really fun stuff in December with a band led by a lady named Lyric Noel. The band is called Lyric Noel. We're gonna cover several of her Christmas things next month, and maybe something else kind of special if it gets dropped next month, but I'm not gonna give you any hints as to what that could be. We also have a Thanksgiving special coming up tomorrow, Saturday, November 30th. We are dropping a Thanksgiving special, 2 p.m. our time. I believe that's 8 p.m. London time. It's going to be a good time. We've got a couple of guests coming on, one who's brand new to the channel. So it's going to be a fun time. We'll probably roll for about 2 hours. So come on out and check it out. Now, after this video drops and you guys see this, Thundy is going to be hanging out in the Discord chat. So if you want to hang out in our Discord chat, the link is in the description. If you're in the live premiere, I'll put it in the live chat right now. And if enough people clamor for it, we may start doing some audio and or video hangout sessions with people in our Discord if people are into that sort of thing. Because we're trying to build up our community over there and do some fun things with you guys, including game nights. So keep your eyes peeled. And the very last thing that I am going to say before we get into this final video is this. We had to push tonight back. It was supposed to be filmed last night. We typically film this on Monday nights and Wednesday nights. Ren on Monday nights, so Thundy has plenty of time throughout the week to edit it. I have to crunch this sumbitch to get it done by Friday because of Thanksgiving and Chris Webby dropping a new one and all sorts of stuff.
How dare you speak to me of the Crunch? You know nothing of the Crunch. You've never even been to the Crunch.
Been there once.
We're going to figure it out, though, because if I can get Slaughterhouse and Crucifier Culture done all in the same week, I can do this. We had to do this the way we did because Shades had to work late Monday night. He didn't get home until after 9 p.m. at night. So we appreciate you guys helping get us to 4K, the views you guys give us, sharing us out everywhere. Maybe one day we'll get a shout out from Ren and come across his radar since we cover him every single week and we don't plan to stop for the foreseeable future. But we would love to get full time with this. And we even want to come to the UK and meet all of you lovely people over there. Everything you guys can do to help us out, we appreciate. So many of you are like, you guys should be way bigger than you are. Well, we would love that. And we're only going to get there. You guys help us. So we appreciate every single one of you. Now, with that being said, should we go ahead and finish off Money Game and let people get back to their Black Friday adventures?
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Let's wrap it up.
I just want to say, I'm sorry. Concrete gets hard and it cracks and it waits for nobody. I don't know.
All right. Now that you sat through all that bullshit from me, this is Money Game Part 3. And before we start, I just want to say how beautiful this shot is. That's amazing. He's blindfolded.
Bologna.
He can see.
All right. ASMR. Welcome back to another episode of Blue Balls with Thundy. I haven't done one of these in a while.
You just lost a subscriber.
You paused it at the worst point in the video. I'm sorry, I had to have some fun. And I wanted to just talk about what we just watched because we're over 2 minutes in. And I didn't realize this one is 9 minutes long, boys.
Holy crap.
Oh, son of a gun.
But Ren can fucking sing. I didn't know this man could. I mean, I knew this man could play everything, but he crushed that piano, man. And I love the way that this was shot at the beginning. The tipsy turvy flipping it over, and
Yeah, so I'm all like sick and shit.
that was dope. I was like, ooh.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business ship shift. He switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28 inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30. His daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval. Moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. "35, he gets a call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion. Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Man, that was a lot.
Very specific.
First thing I'm going to say is, fuck you, Jimmy. You know what Jimmy I'm talking about?
Jimmy from Degrassi High?
Drake. So I have never quite seen somebody put together something quite like this, the way that he did this. Now, of course, we had our true to form Rins, like, here's one giant verse for y'all to digest. But going from age 1 to age 39 so far, writing a narrative for this character that so well embodies certain groups of individuals is pretty well done. And I don't even know the descriptive words I'm looking for, but it's pretty crazy.
This feels like a play. It feels like we're watching theater.
He's definitely one-upping Psycho Stick on this one. He can definitely count more than 4.
So far, he's 35 more than that.
All right, so here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in sections, and if there's something to really digest, we'll talk about it, or I'll make a couple comments, and we'll move on. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old, and his first words were mine, gimme. 2 years old, he was walking. 3 years old, walking quickly. 4 years old, he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old, and his daddy told him, listen here, son, you got to learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old, and he's reading, writing top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old, and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents pay for private school to nurture the flame. So I was seeing a theme here where parenting is of the utmost importance. And I think that's one of the reasons why our society has begun to degrade the way it has, is the lack of parenting. And there's multiple factors that play into that. And I'm not a parent myself. The other two boys here are. There are various variables that play into being able to be a good parent. But one of them is to not tell lies to your kids. And the world is tough for sure, but some of the things that this father says throughout here is the entire reasoning that Jimmy is doing the things that he's doing.
Jimmy's dad sucks.
Whereas they can stoke the fires of ambition for good, they can also stoke the fires of ambition for bad. And this guy's going the wrong direction. In 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematic equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping his share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invests in product. See, once again, his dad's telling him bullshit. Well, I mean, it's true. The world doesn't give a damn about you, but you shouldn't use that as a justification or means to fuck everyone over you can to get where you want to go. Many a time we've seen the young ones like Mark Zuckerberg, who are great at coding and create incredible softwares that are then in the end used for bullshit that they shouldn't be.
Not like MySpace Tom. He's a good dude.
Yeah, Tom was everybody's friend, man.
MySpace Top 8. What's up, Tom?
MySpace taught everybody to code. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then a lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal, and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list through applauding his name. 25, his daddy tells him, listen here, son, while you are sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift. He switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. And 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of the council in the president's suite. We talked about that a little bit already in this video. Themes playing themselves over again. Now he's 30. His daddy says, you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders and from exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the popo inside of his pocket. 35, he gets a call. I'm sorry, son, it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed up, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon, then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words still driving him to kill and devour. He makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
This thing starts off when little Jimmy's a year old. By the time he's, 5? Gets super shit advice from his dad. I don't know what kind of dad's telling their kid that that's the secret to life at 5 years old, but that's wrong. Bad advice.
Well, it seems to get more twisted the older he gets and the advice that he gets, which then continually spirals his decisions out of control, looking for that approval.
Well, yeah, because his dad's always telling him basically that he's not shit. No matter what accolades he's achieved, it's not good enough. You're nothing.
Part of the problem is his dad failed at something and he's just butthurt and he's pushing his problems off onto his son to make him shit on everybody else, make him the shitter.
Yeah.
Which that's no good either. Why is anybody the shitter? Shitter's full.
Sorry about the aim. I've been using the jackhammer. It was getting too heavy. I had to bring some levity.
We needed that. There's some serious subject matter here.
All right, well, let's move into verse 2 because we are still quite a ways from the end of this. I broke shades.
I think what broke me was watching Thundy do the jackhammer, though.
Bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Ooh, what are we going to get here?
Some strings.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41, he wasn't walking. 42, not walking quickly. 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him. And it's a version of she. And it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck for money and fame. Cut the music.
All right, well, we'll cut the music then. That made me kind of emotional when he went into that with the way that the strings were played and what he was all saying, man.
Yeah, he pulled out your heartstrings pretty good.
He's living a life of regret.
Because he was shitting on everybody.
Walked all over everybody in the pursuit of greed and of more. And now what's he got left in reality?
He ain't walking.
Is this karma?
Karmic retribution?
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41, he wasn't walking. 42, not walking quickly. 43, never running around the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turned to rebel when perspectives evolves. Weighing heavy on his consciousness is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me, and it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. That's why we live. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. Cut it out.
Hey, shout out Dave Coulier fighting a battle with cancer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, going through it right now.
Yeah, so it seems like we've got the flip side from the beginning of the story now. And we're seeing exactly where that kind of mindset and lifestyle can lead you. Does it always go this way? Of course not. But the more unchecked you are, the more likely you are to go down a path such as this. And like you said, it's a version of him, it's a version of she, it's a version of me, it's a version of you. It's something everyone can be guilty of at some point in their life, depending on what they're going through. It's easy to fall into some of this mindset when life treats you like shit. Hands that life deals you. And it's really about how you play those hands that you're dealt, where you may end up in life. I also want to say that through all of this stating of numbers and ages, I just want to say, the boys here are 32 and I'm 10 years younger than them. I had to give you guys a second Boosh cutaway since the first one I've used before. I had to give you guys another one.
Version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck for money and fame. Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface then consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
Wow. So this is going to end in quite an interesting fashion, I feel like.
I feel like I know where this is going also in Minecraft.
The way that he has crafted this video and this narrative is such a roller coaster ride. It's insane. The dude is so gifted, from storytelling to theatrics to lyricism to his creation of music in all of its forms. Pretty wild, dude. How is there this much talent in one individual and the world still doesn't really know his name at large? This man should be a household name.
This is true. This is true. Problem with independent Bologna and not Bologna, the independent artists and the underground guys and people like us.
It's the power of the people that get the independent artists out there. Which is why we like to cover independent and small label artists on our channel. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. We're hyperpolarized. We're always fighting and we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we design. Money is an invention. Politics from our own invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Borders and invention. Law and order fuel the tension that leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build up utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in school to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd, if there's money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon a surface, then consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without the story for the wise. They are very hyperpolarized. We're always fighting. We're always divided, whether that's because of politics, because of other things we believe, between things we love in music, movies, television, sports. We're always divided and fighting amongst ourselves like they want us to, instead of fighting the people who are really causing all the bullshit. Everything's an invention. Everything's an idea. Everything is a construct that we've created that we just tend to go along with. And he's right. We could build utopias, but people don't want to. They're more concerned with them and theirs. And how can you not be when you're scraping to live and get by? All you have time to think about is how to provide and survive. It's really easy to fall out of wanting to build utopias when you can barely build yourself a home.
Survive, motherfucker.
You think about the construct statement. What's the largest man-made construct that we all deal with daily as adults? The workforce. We literally sell a unit of our life, a unit of time, whether it be hourly, weekly, monthly. We sell a unit of time for an arbitrarily assigned value. You know, somebody has calculated the worth of our time, depending on what we do. An hour of our time generates X amount of profit. And from that profit comes a percentage that's divvied out back to us. So yeah, the workforce that's the biggest construct, you know, the hourly wage or the salary or whatever you're paid in. That's all how it kicks back.
Funny you should say that too. We were talking the other day at work. You know, like I got thinking, I'm worth about 4 or 5 bags of chips an hour. Sounds terrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's why we want full-time YouTube, man. That's why we want to get to where we can enough money from YouTube that we can stop the daily grind and we can really make a lot of content that we want, that even if it helps somebody in the way that it just lets them forget about the bullshit in their day and just trying to survive. You know, we provided something, an escape for people from the bullshit, and it's a win. If we have a lot of money from YouTube, there are so many things locally, nationally, that we want to donate to places that need these funds. And if we had them, we would do it.
So what you're saying is I can have 6 bags of chips.
Yes.
Deal.
Potentially. Potentially.
You get a chip sponsorship.
Deal. If I get bags of chips, I might be like Oprah and you're like, you get a chip and you get a chip and
everybody gets chips.
I am pretty generous when it comes to chips.
I do like Funyuns.
That means something else overseas, though.
Fish and chips, buddy.
They're crisps. They're crisps, Shades. And the last thing I'll say before we move on is, if we teach kids in school to always be sheep, at least in the US, our education system is based on the Prussian system of education. Simplest terms, its goal is to produce employees and soldiers. In other words, people who take orders and don't question them. There's a reason that our society works the way that it does and how we get into this mindset, and we need to break out from all of that.
Sites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate, with a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Man.
Well, yeah.
I feel like we saw that coming, and it's still kind of shocking.
A little bit.
I mean, it clicked and it didn't go off.
Interesting how 1 and 3 have a very similar ending.
So what you're saying is somebody came in and saved him again.
Shades to the rescue.
I don't know. It's a really interesting ending because I feel like if it was supposed to go off, it would have went off, right? It wouldn't have clicked and been not a fire, you know?
But, I mean, the bullets were wet. They couldn't fire.
That's right. He got rained on inside.
That was really impressive, everything. I was not expecting the rain, man.
Yeah, that was pretty good shit.
It rain all the time.
That's from The Crow.
45, Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants. He has fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain, 45 a fitting number because his age is the same. Here's the words of his father. It's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game. Well, that was Money Game Part 3. And we have finally come to the very end of our journey. And don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I see you guys clicking off. We're getting ready to. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Okay. Yeah, this whole video was wild, man. And I'll save everything else I'm going to say for the rest of my review, I guess. So I'll start it out then. I think this was fire. It's weird. It feels weird to say that this was fire because it wasn't some like banger of a track. It was very serious, but it was a masterpiece of music, dude. From the way it was written, the way that it was played, the way that it was shot. I don't know what else I can say that I haven't said in the past hour and 40 minutes of recording that we've got that would adequately put my feelings and emotions into words, because this is incredible, and this man deserves to be protected at all costs and deserves to be shouted from the rooftops. Everybody needs to know the man named Ren. His shit's real. He's not out here talking about bullshit. He's not talking about wops. He's not talking about getting money. And when he talks about doing drugs, it's usually to tell some sort of story or lesson. It's not to glorify shit that he shouldn't be glorifying. He's very real. He's as authentic as it fucking gets. And man, would I like to be a fly on the wall when he shoots one of these types of music videos, man. And that's all I've got to say about that.
All right, the professor's going last because I know he's going to say a lot. All of it was fire. I think I've said it before that his videos aren't money, drugs, and hoes, fast cars, girls twerking back here, all of that baloney. He cares more about the wordage and how it's going to make people feel rather than just have all that with a little bit of money. Like it's fucking fire. Even for as crazy as both that ending was and the first ending was, I still think somebody saved him both times, but I'm just going to leave that for, there's got to be behind the scenes somewhere. Somebody knocks him over.
Hometown hero.
It was the man upstairs.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Professor.
This thing played out almost like a 3-act play. Like I said, it was very theatrical. We've been into that with Ren before a little bit. He can be a bit theatrical. Some people don't love it as much as some of his straightforward stuff. I thought this was fire. I like how we opened up with the piano note, that section, and then we transitioned into the string section, and then he kind of goes a cappella, which I thought was really cool as he breaks this whole thing down, takes us on this man's journey. Again, subject matters, it's on point. I think we've all said it. Artists for decades and decades have been talking about these types of things. He does it in a way that's very eloquent. He's putting it out there, a lot of emotion, a lot of heart in what he does, and you can tell it's not for views or streams. You can tell that he feels what he's talking about. He's not chasing the dollar. He's just out there trying to share his truth and share knowledge with the world. Absolutely fire, as I think all three were. All three have their own unique sections that kind of speak to me. I'm glad he's saying things that we all feel and believe, and even with making movies, people are like, well, what'd you make from Tapehead? I made connections, I connected with you guys from Tapehead, do a guest spot, do an interview, talk about Tapehead, I've met amazing friends and networked across the world, from this thing. And that's worth way more than dollars. I have a home and a family that I get to come home to every day. That's worth more than money. The money part of things, again, somebody arbitrarily assigned value to that and tries to tell you that that's what you should achieve. Life is worth way more than just money.
Amen, brother. Amen. If you guys have made it this far into the video, y'all are the real MVPs, because this is going to be the single longest video on our channel. And I don't know if we'll ever have something this long again. It's not a live stream. Well, until we get to another one of his series that's even longer, I don't know how long this video is going to be and how many people are going to watch and how many people are going to be able to finish it in the US if it's during your lunch hour. You know what's not nothing, Shades?
Feel like it has to do with our videos.
Yeah, so you know what's not nothing is the fact that we are almost to 100 episodes on this series. It's knocking on the door. I'm not sure what our 100th video will be, but it'll be something interesting, I'm sure. Go check it out. I'll pin it at the end of the video. We've covered lots of different music, lots of different independent artists. Like we said, Echo, Lyric Noel, a lot of different cool people. Chris Webby, King ISO's coming up soon. Keep an eyeball within the next couple of months for some really cool King ISO stuff. Hit us up in Discord after this if you want to hang out and chat a little bit. Let us know in the comments whether you thought this was a fail, fire, or just plain mid. Like and subscribe, join the memberships if you want to today, because we are Cyber School Media. This was Fail or Fire, and we will keep bringing you guys the motherfucking heat. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good one.
Later.
Check out the Thanksgiving special tomorrow.